first time I've been in it, southeast. Yeah, I want to talk to you about the NOVIC project, Northern Organic Vegetable Improvement Collaborative, and some of the activities we've had going on. It is a farmer participatory plant breeding project. And I think really my goal here today is to give you some ideas, kind of prime the pump, some ideas you might take in writing proposals for SARE or for ORAI or SCRI, things like that. A number of people involved in it. We're primarily across the northern tier of states, in a similar latitude, but just a list of some of the people involved in the project. We're in our third round of funding with NOVIC. And this is ORAI funding and a 4-year project. So we started back in 2009, and we're in the second year of NOVIC 3 now. Basically, we're looking at adaptation of varieties to production systems by doing variety trials and then breeding where we see need for that sort of thing to happen. The whole project, or the whole basis for doing this project is really the NOP requirement of certified organic seed. There is a loophole if a variety is not available as certified organic seed, then untreated conventional seed may be used. This is a loophole I think that will eventually close, but when it was first, NOP was first implemented, it was recognized that there weren't enough varieties out there that were certified organic. So we're trying to increase the choice that farmers have in terms of the varieties that they can use. 6 different institutions are participating in this. I'm the project director of Oregon State, and we have Cornell in Wisconsin. The USDA unit in Geneva, New York is involved. Organic Seed Alliance and Colorado State University are all involved. As a project team, we will meet annually. For example, the Organic Seed, Organic Growers Seed Conference is coming up in Corvallis in about 3 weeks or so, and we'll meet there as a team to discuss trial results and what we're planning on doing for this coming year. Within each region, then we have project team meetings where teams meet with growers, reviewing the data, identifying varieties that might be of interest, deciding what trials to do in the coming year, farmer trials, and who's going to participate in those sorts of things. So that's kind of the overall networking that we do. One of the basic concepts for NOVIC is the use of these mother-daughter trial designs. This is a trial design that was originally developed by Siglinda Snapp at Michigan State University. At usually a research hub, we have a replicated trial, a variety trial, and then in growers' farms around each hub site, then there are single reps of the same material. And so you get, you have some control over what happens at these sites. These are more real-world type sites, and so you get a kind of an interesting snapshot of how varieties form using the combination of that data. In NOVIC 1 and 2, what we had were 5 crops that we identified through needs assessments and that we were working on and focused on those. We've always tried every year to have a farmer's regional choice crop. And I'll have more to say about this in a little bit. It varies from year to year and region to region. Generally, these trials are somewhere about 9 entries, and in the past we required that 5 of the varieties in those trials be common to all regions. The other 4 could be more local. So that's basic design. As I'll be showing you, in NOVIC 3, we're allowing a little more flexibility. This is an example of one of the Farmer's Choice Trials, and it just so happened in this year that both New York and Oregon farmers said we need to evaluate basil for downy mildew resistance. That's become a big disease issue. So we did those sorts of trials, identified material that had resistance, evaluated flavor, taste and flavor, because the resistance was coming in from Thai basils, which alters the flavor then of the Genovese type basils. NOVIC 3, the things that we're working on now, we have a lot of material in the breeding pipeline. So this is a list of some of the things where we expect to see releases being made in the next 2 to 3 years. There's some other aspects of it, looking at developing alternates to hybrids. Our plant breeding workshops, I think, have been very successful, and I'll say more about that in a little bit. And then we're in the process of developing an online breeding resource toolkit. With the NOVIC trials, we're allowing more autonomy in the regions, and not every trial is grown in all regions. And it's kind of a mix of crops. We are doing the on-farm trials, but not necessarily for every crop in every region. The breeding activities, there's a list of the crops that we're working on. For example, I lead the one on tomato breeding for late blight resistance. Julie Dawson in Wisconsin is working on high tunnel production. And each of the region's breeders takes the lead on one of those particular crops. This table, which I'm sure is somewhat difficult to read, just kind of gives you an overall feel for the crops that we have focused on in NOVIC 1 and NOVIC 2, and then in NOVIC 3, you can see there's a much more diversified area. Some of these we're continuing on, but we're picking up a lot of new ones. A lot of these are the Farmer's Choice Trials here, these individual things. Another aspect of the farmer participatory projects have been the farmer participatory reading. Michael Mazurek in NOVIC 2 led a project to develop a fish-type pepper, a mild or a sweet fish-type pepper, which has this really pretty striping on the fruit. But he made the crosses, he would send the seed out to all the locations, we would plant it at field days or other activities, and we'd have farmers come in and make selections. You can see here, we give people a set of flags and ask them to flag plants, and you can see here that this plant's a favorite of those. We'd send back that seed, the best seed, to Michael. He'd intercross again and then send it out again for another year. And I think we're at the point now of selecting the final varieties on that. In terms of our farmer participatory activities, we've evolved over time. Early on, we were in NOVIC 1, the researchers were doing a lot of the activities. F stands for farmer, R stands for researcher. So researchers were doing things like the trial design, obtaining the seed, doing transplants, doing the evaluation and the harvest, and so forth. As I say, it's shifted over time. Now it's more like we work together to establish trial design, select varieties. The researchers still obtain the seed. But basically that seed is given to the farmers, and they do any transplant production, planting, taking care of the material. That's all done with some input from researchers. And then together we're evaluating the material and doing harvest and activities to tell what we've So yeah, here's an example of some of the data from earlier trials. It's farmer participatory trials. We tended to use these rating scales, 1 to 5 scales, rather than trying to, for a lot of traits, rather than trying to be more quantitative about it, which has generally worked pretty well for us. More recently, this is kind of the rating of a set of pictures from one of our farm trials. Rating the squash, for example, you can get a kind of a visual assessment of yield and quality of the materials. NOVIC 1 data was publishable. We had a paper come out on looking at genotype by environment interaction using the farmers' data. And from NOVIC 2 on, it's been more qualitative. I think we're still, in terms of impact with growers, what we see is that when we survey people, they say that they have made changes based on NOVIC data in the varieties that they use, they grow. So I think we're still reaching, the goal, the endpoint we're reaching is still successful here. Some of the other aspects, the plant breeding workshops, we've done these in a number of different places. We've been, to Virginia in 2018, but these have been very successful in talking about breeding activities around the U.S. Training graduate students is another important part of the project. We've trained a number of students and have 3 as part of the program. And I think this is one of our successes in getting funding was making sure that we included graduate student training in the program. Just a list of some of the things in the pipeline. So far there have been 10 releases of 4 crops, another dozen or so varieties in the pipeline. Finally, I think it's important to be conducting needs assessments and having this data when you write your proposals to cite in terms of the reasons for why you're doing the work you're proposing to do. So we've done a number of needs assessments in the northern states. More recently, what I've taken to doing is put this up as a poster at Organicology in 2018. List of the crops and then traits that we thought might be important. And then we gave people stars and just asked them to put stars in the cells where they thought the traits the need was most important for a particular trait for a particular crop. And you can see some of the ratings on that. So anyway, that's where I'll leave you with this, and would be happy to take any questions. Thank you.